It's been a minute. Over a decade by my estimation. It's a long, long time, and I don't think there's many of you left here on this channel, but for those of you that are, thank you for sticking around. I'm back, and not only am I back, I'm back happier, healthier, and probably in the best mental, physical, and emotional space of my life. We need a chat though. We need a big chat because a lot has happened over the last decade, and I didn't really tell you I was leaving. I just ran off. A lot was happening, but we can't go through the entire thing now because that's going to take hours and hours, and I just want this to be a short video where I just say hello and catch up with you. But I'll go through some of the things and let you know what's went on and what's to come. So basically, 10, 12 years ago, I was in the middle of a tour, and I'm using that term loosely, and I basically burnt out. My mental health was in absolute tatters. My physical health was all over the place. My emotional health was all over the place, and my social health was all over the place. Everything was just not good, and really not good. And music, or my pursuit of it in the way I was pursuing it, was hurting me. And I think in hindsight, if I was sensible, I would have taken a small break and gone back to it in a different way. But sometimes I'm not sensible. And I think there was a mixture of maybe internalized capitalism, some sort of masculinity, the weight of the pressures of it, and guilt, and definitely shame that I could not turn music into a functioning career. The weight of that, and the weight of my dream, because music as my career was my dream, the weight of that not coming true. And there's not a lot of information out there about what to do when your dream doesn't come true. It's always try harder. Well, I lived my dream not coming true, and it was tough. And what I did was basically throw the baby out with the bathwater. I put music itself into a box, and I just tucked it out of my life. And I just chalked it up to, this was a beautiful way to spend my 20s, and now I'm grown up, and now I'm going to start doing other kinds of creative work and other kinds of art, and I'll just channel myself that way. And I did. I learned how to paint properly, although when you see my art YouTube, you can call that into question for yourself. I wrote some novels, all of which I'm in the process of publishing now, and I basically tucked creativity into my morning routine, and it was beautiful. But something was missing. And over the course of that decade, my life became beige. And there was no reason for it to be beige. I have a beautiful husband now. I'm married, we have a house, I have a dog. Everything is trucking along. We go on holidays. I paint every morning. My business is doing really, really well. Everything's going okay, but there was just this silence in my heart that was not easy. So that just began to build, and it began to infect other areas of my life, and everything, this bland ball of beigeness is the only way I can describe it, just rolled into every aspect of my life, and everything just got really, really dull. So I started to do a deep dive into that, because my history includes a lot of depression and anxiety, and there's a lot of other mental health stuff happening with me that I'm now thankfully on top of. And it's all like I said, best place ever. But I was doing a deep dive into that what was happening with me. So I started to read up on books, and the books I came across that really, really helped me were Julia Cameron's The Artist Way, Elizabeth Gilbert's Big Magic, Chase Jarvis's Creative Calling, and Rick Rubin's The Creative Act. And those, I read a few other books as well, obviously, but those books taught me that creativity, which in my history has been a tool to pretty much make money, leverage, status, presence. It's all that sort of young way of thinking about it. But creativity, these books taught me that creativity can be an act of self-care. And it was that framing that shifted everything for me, and it changed it. And that little, because the Artist Way is a course that you do, and there's a 6 weeks, and you're writing all of these different things out. They've got these prompts in it that help you question yourself. And one of the prompts, and I'm going to paraphrase this completely wrong, was, if you had received everything that you needed as a child or a young adult, what would you be doing right now? And all of those prompts, all of those questions led me to the same thing, which was writing songs. And I'll never forget the feeling I had when I was 16, 17, and I wrote my first ever song, which I think is on this channel somewhere, it lit something in me that's never, ever truly gone out. So 2 years ago, I decided to be brave and sit behind the piano and start writing songs again. And then I was looking into getting them recorded, going the same path I used to, which was write a bunch of songs, go to a recording studio, get someone else to make me sound like I'm vaguely a musician, and then put it into the world. But this time I wanted to have more control, I wanted to have more fun, and I wanted to be completely self-sufficient. So in March of last year, it hasn't been a year yet, I downloaded the trial version of Logic Pro X. I bought the Focusrite bundle. It's over there. My mic stand is held together with duct tape, and my setup is not by any means smart, but when I sat down in front of that program to learn how to be a music producer, and I've managed to carve out an hour a day just to sit there and practice it, that fire, that spark when I was 16 years old, right back there. And I've recorded an album, my first in over a decade. It's by no means perfect, and I'm sure I'll look back in 5-10 years time and think, oh, I should have done that right. But as Elizabeth Gilbert says in her book, done is better than good, and it is done. To the best of my ability, it is done. And as soon as I figure out how to get it out into the world, it will be out there. But for right now, my focus is just staying in practice, writing music every single day, and sharing it with you. Because one of the things I learned during this time is that art isn't really completed until it is shared. And that's, whether you believe in that or not, is up to you. But for me, having this as a space where I can just share my work is the accountability I need, and the invitation, I guess, for anybody else who wants to listen to come and listen. I'm not trying to make this a career anymore. I'm not trying for it to be anything other than an avenue for my joy. I suppose I'm looking at music and creativity in a more mature way, I think, if we're going to put it in a nutshell. But yeah, that's kind of been my last decade. There's so much to go into, which I will talk about at some point probably. But for right now, the message I wanted to convey today was that I'm back, I'm making music again, and I'm happy. And I really hope to get to make some new friends while I'm here. So with that in mind, as the YouTubers say, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll speak to you very, very soon.